Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Watching the Watchmen. Today we are on issue 8 of Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock is this hackneyed, cash-in, unnecessary, bloated sequel to Watchmen, not canon in my eyes. Geoff Johns and Gary Franks, Gary Frank, it's just Johns and Frank, who I've really grown to appreciate. I think he's a fantastic artist. I think Geoff Johns less so in the creative department. But yeah, today we are back again. We are going to be reviewing issue 8, as I say, which is called Save Humanity. And I'm with Def, as always. Def, how's it going?
Yeah, good, man. You sound like a real fan the way that you're going on about this book. I'm quite excited to review it with you, Tom. I'm sure we're going to say lots of positive things about this issue that we'll love doing. I look forward to this every week, you know.
So, the cover, as we always speak about, we have Bubastis on the front. I guess the eyes, the blue cat's eyes, kind of hinting towards Manhattan or something in that realm. His eyes are yellow as well, dominant sort of more Watchmen colours. What do you think of the cover?
It's a lovely colour, Tom. There's also hints of Rorschach's mask in the fur coloration.
Oh, that's right. I didn't see that. That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice touch. Mm-hmm. It's a lovely use of purple. And Frank, he nailed it, Tom. He nailed it.
Oh, man. I mean, the bright light on Bubastis' brow is heavenly, and you can see like flecks of the fur against the pitch blackness. And yeah, I mean, again, like his paws as well are really heavy and really, really nice. And I don't know if you spotted as well the alternative cover with Ozymandias as the sort of puppet master.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually really like this cover.
Yeah.
So basically, Superman's fighting. Well, he's not fighting him, but he's having a stern word with Dr. Manhattan. If you look, Dr. Manhattan's pointing at him, going,
yep.
You. And Ozymandias, he's pulling the strings on these two puppets. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's an Easter egg for the Dr. Manhattan line. We're all puppets. I can just see the strings.
Yep.
Which it hints towards Ozymandias manipulating them into a face-off, which is kind of the direction that I think this issue goes, but I don't know for definite.
Yeah, and I mean, Manhattan John is a character that we see really in the Ozzy archetype, not even controlling everything, but someone who's aware of anything, any forces above him. So it is quite cool to see. And yeah, it is a nice bit of artwork as well. I guess also harking back to, was it Mime or Marionette? One of their it's Marionette, right? Her dad was like a puppet maker or some shit.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously it's kind of calling back to Mars as well. I'm actually drinking. I didn't even realise. This is a spooky bit of serendipity. I've actually got my Dr. Manhattan mug with my coffee where he's holding the photo, staring out into the abyss, and clearly it's harking back to that as well. I'm sort of scouring for further things. It doesn't really, arguably the sort of planet that's gas obscured in the background looks a bit similar to what they travel over to get to Olympus Mons, but that is a bit of a stretch. So it's called Save Humanity, which I've got to say the H.L. Mencken quote that it's drawn from, I've never heard that quote before. I'll just get to that quote now. I think it's a really cool quote, actually. And I think it's a bit garish that it's just called Save Humanity. Again, it's a bit on the nose. But I do like the quote. The urge to save humanity is almost always a false front for the urge to rule.
Right, okay. That's deep.
Yeah, that is deep.
I didn't even read that quote, I was just so excited to finish the book. So really just skipped past all that and finished off my notes and thought, right, I'm done. I'm off.
So you were a bit like Bubastis in the opening panels, yawning.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I'm sick of it, Tom. I really am. This entire issue, it just feels like they've sort of forgotten all the stuff from the last couple of issues.
There's no Watchmen in this at all.
Yeah, they just want to start again, basically. It's so annoying.
It's really, really perplexing. And yes, we open with Bubastis yawning. We realise then she's on the carpet of the Oval Office. It's quite nice, actually, that she's sort of lying in the centre of the insignia and the wings are outspread behind her. And it's not really clear what's going on, but Ozzy's found a file, an important document.
Wow. Where's the president at this point? Someone check Twitter and find out where he is.
Yeah. It's very... again, it's kind of cool to see these different toys in these different worlds, but I more like just the Boobastis image, if anything, than Ozzy being there and, you know, this sort of thing. Again, it's kind of hard to see how many, you can't see at all how many stars are on that flag, but obviously we live in a slightly demented world, and we've pointed this out ad nauseum on the show that Moore is one of the most, you know, subtle writers in terms of the juxtapositions. Geoff doesn't have that. So we have It's a Crime Clark, Lois at the Daily Planet with Clark here, and it would have been enough for me to just have a crime taking place wordlessly and for us to go into it next. But the fact that it's a basic one, like a kid stealing a fruit, and the fact that the fruit seller catches him and says, hey, you got to pay for that, it's like, we don't need this.
Yeah, completely pointless. Doesn't really tie into the story. It's not two characters kind of being polar opposites of each other. It's just there for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And Johns again, he's just doing a poor imitation. But don't want to slag it off fully. We've finally got Superman back, Tom.
Yeah.
After 8 issues, he's finally back.
Was it the first one where he sort of wakes up?
I think it was the end. Yeah, I think it was the end of the first one that he woke up, and he's finally back. And I tell you what, it's worth it, Tom. You're waiting this year and a half for his return.
Oh, it's
really worth the wait.
Yeah,
he's got some jokes to crack here. And we're 8 issues in, and they're still setting up characters and having what feels like it should be the opening. Like, Lois Lane's really sassy, but at this point, I'm just more annoyed than I am engrossed because of how little plot development there's been, and especially, like, it just get to the point, Johns. We've got 4 issues left after this, you know what I mean? Just get on with it, please. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
It is infuriating, and again, I guess we've got the echo of Ozzy at a desk finding something and Lois finding something at her desk, and there's just lots of stuff in this sequence, like the Kool-Aid stuff. I don't really know what they're getting at. I guess drunk the Kool-Aid, kind of brainwash it, I guess, but I don't really like any of that stuff. And it's not highbrow enough, is it, Tom? Like, drinking the Kool-Aid's a very famous saying that many people will get, whereas whereas Alan Moore, he would have referenced something from Victorian poetry. You
know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like,
he's a hack, Johns. He's a bloody hack.
I mean, you know, think about. I remember we pointed that out when we did Watchmen, and I don't think either of us had realised it, but it was very, very cool. Where in Karnak, when Ozzy opens the dome and all the snow comes in and covers that guy's face, and then it goes into the black freighter, you know, the reflection, and just so much stuff is so seamless. This sort of stuff isn't, you know, they sort of dilly-dally back and forth. We get the, what's his name, this J. Jonah Jameson clone?
Perry White,
yeah. Which maybe he came before Jonah Jameson, the kind of
he did, yeah.
You know, the editor thing, and it does feel like a clean slate in some places because we do get. I mean, we get a lot of it throughout the series, of course, but we do get a lot of exposition. You know, the metahumans, the Superman theory. I've kind of made it clear that I don't really like big event comics. I find them quite sluggish here. But you know, I've got to be positive in some ways. I do quite like the reference to the diary, to basically to the end of Watchmen at the bottom of the front page. Yeah,
it is quite a nice little thing. But what do they do with it, Tom? Nothing really. So it's just in there for the sake of it. And then we cut to Firestorm on TV.
Fuck Firestorm.
They're just like, where has this really come from, to be honest? This isn't something that's been building up. At no point have they really focused on Firestorm to where he's going to be this big thing that's going to eventually erupt. I think they have mentioned him.
He has been in
one
glimpses.
of the issues for about 3 panels, but at no point did they make this a focus. And it's just a bit ridiculous. Like, Firestorm lands in Mexico and turns everyone to glass. Because basically Firestorm's power is
in Russia, right?
Yeah, in Russia, yeah. I said I meant Moscow, Tom. I've actually got Mexico in my notes as well.
Right.
Got Mexico on the brain. Basically, Firestorm's power is that he can manipulate molecules into other elements. Mm-hmm. So he does this. and turns everyone into glass. It's very, very, very similar to Civil War by Marvel, which in that a bomb goes off, the superheroes get blamed for it, then they have to register their names with the government. Some people do, some people don't. They see it as a breach of freedom, and that causes this civil war in which the people who've registered their names have to track down the people who haven't registered their names. Very simple story, Tom. Very well executed. Brilliant book. In this, it seems like they're going for a similar aesthetic with the metagene baby testing thing in Russia, making people superheroes, that sort of thing. But it's just nowhere near as good. In that, this was like principle versus principle, and that was the story. Whereas this, we've had 8 issues already. They've not really discussed that plot point, and now it's suddenly getting thrust into the 8th issue as a sort of, here's an introductory plot point that we're going to discuss throughout this graphic novel. It's like, no, this is the end now. Wrap it up, Tom. Wrap it up. Tom, tell him, wrap it up.
I mean, in issue 8,
go on, Tom.
All the carefully strung threads should be coming together in compelling ways. And we shouldn't, again, like you say, we have met Firestorm a few times. I'm pretty sure he's in a lot of the back the back panel stuff as well. The metahuman, metagene stuff, again, I agree, is very garbled. I think Civil War succeeds because, it's a really original idea and it was just compelling and it's split it across lines very well. Whereas this one, the problem also is because it's not a civil war, because it's an international war with Russia involved, it's kind of got this zeitgeisty, here's what's actually happening in the world in 2018 baked into it, which doesn't help. I think Johns is trying to be cute here and not doing very well. And also, let's say if Moore had to take this story and adapt it like he did Swamp Thing, I think he'd create a more fucking interesting character than just Human Torch guy. Like, you know what I mean? I like the fact that he has 2 personalities fused together in an incident. I think that's actually quite cool. That's actually quite original.
Well, Firestorm's like a classic DC character.
Is he an old character? He's an old character.
Yeah, he's been around for quite a while, yeah.
He looks like he's from the 40s, actually. He has that sort of vibe, like.
Yeah, but he's not exactly the kind of person that you want at the centre of your story, to be honest. To me, it should be one of the big guns. Obviously, they do kind of thrust Superman into that position when he disagrees with Vladimir Putin to his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, Firestorm's just a bit.
1978. He's from Firestorm, so he's not. I thought he'd be like from the 50s or some shit. Apparently, he's in the Arrowverse. I mean, I don't watch that myself, but
yeah, he is. Yeah, he's in Legends of Tomorrow. He's quite a big character in that, and he's good. But they sort of reimagined him in that program, whereas this is more classic Firestorm, and he's not as interesting, Tom. No. And he turns people to glass, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Really? What has this got to do with Watchmen, Tom, and Doomsday Clock?
I mean, this is it's got this is kind of a the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. They need a sort of Archduke Franz Ferdinand kind of idea here. So this fight's going on with him and Pozar, I think he's called. And then there's reference to, because if you remember, I think one of the things we did praise in the book was at the end of one of the issues, I think it was like issue 5 or 6, they had a list of all the different superhero groups around the world, and they all sort of reflected their stereotype, their national stereotype, and that was quite cool. So we get to see some of these guys here that, again, we just get their names, so it's very hard to know who they are. What's the deal with like Black Demon Lady? Can just, I don't know, can you just like go inside people and like eviscerate them? It's kind of cool, but there's no real explanation.
I've got no idea who she is, Tom.
No,
I genuinely don't. And I know most DC characters.
Yeah. And
I don't think I've ever seen her before.
No.
So, lads, if you want to educate me on comics, make sure you comment on this video.
And we have the breaking point, really, where our story kind of spirals off, where he explodes and turns everyone to glass. And I've got the feeling that Johns thought that this panel on page 7 would be this like iconic thing or whatever. But I don't know. I think the glass looks kind of cheap here. I don't think it looks very translucent. It looks kind of oily.
Yeah, to be fair, it's probably hard to colour glass.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe you should have turned them to like gold or something.
Yeah.
Basically, Firestorm can turn anything into any element that he wants.
Yeah.
So they could have done anything. Do you think there's any symbolism to this glass, Tom? Like, the people are so transparent in their views that...
Yeah.
I don't think it's that, Tom.
No. I guess, the inherent fragility as well of life and stuff like that. But no, I mean, this happens. Confusingly, the people aren't sort of gathered up by the other superheroes and put somewhere safe, because obviously they could shatter. They're left out overnight. Like, I don't get that.
They don't even put build anything around them.
It's like a little tent. That's all.
Put a fence around them. Yeah. Say put a wall around them to stop people breaking in and smashing them up. Just stupid, Tom. Really stupid. And from here, Superman goes to Kandak, which is a refuge for superheroes. Now, again, if this was an issue 1 or 2, fair enough. But it's just bogging the pacing down when we feel like we should be ramping up to a climax. You shouldn't be introducing new locations this far into the book. Like Kandak, it just seems weird to me. So it's like a utopia for superheroes, but why do they need a utopia when most of them are invincible? Yeah. Like, they wouldn't need to hide out. Superman also, we discover, he's in his sort of Dark Knight Returns mode here, where all of the other superheroes are banned, except for him because he's a government lackey. And in that story, it was used to really ramp up just how needed Batman was. But here, it's just a bit random. Like, honestly, I just think there's too many characters in this book and too many storylines now. Yeah. And due to that, you have issues that have to focus on groups of characters, but then they get completely forgotten about in the next issue because you've got to focus on another group of characters and another group, and it's just characters taking precedent over other characters to the point that no one really has any interesting plot elements or things to do. If you look at the original Watchmen graphic novel, there's about 5 characters in total in that book that are the main focus. Here, there's Ozymandias, there's the Mime and Marionette, Superman,
Reggie,
Batman, Reggie, Comedian, Mothman, Johnny Thunder, Lois Lane, Firestorm, Black Adam. There's just too much going on to keep focus, and whilst every issue centers around one character, it means overall, as a book, there's not much cohesiveness. Like Superman, he's been gone for 7 issues, and now he's back, and we're supposed to be able to latch onto him as part of this story when you're introducing a new, basically Superman. If it wasn't Superman and we didn't know anything about him going into this, it would seem like you introduced a character in the first chapter and then you reintroduced them in the 8th one and just completely scrapping all of the characters that you introduced before that.
Is it Joker?
No, it's... I forgot his name, Tom. He's a hero. Basically, a Batman journalist turned superhero, but he's like a crazy one. Okay. Oh, Tom, it's doing me head in. Jack Ryder, I think is his name in Batman. I'm quickly googling it.
Okay, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it is Jack Ryder. He's the Creeper. Bang! I got it, Tom. I got it in the end.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting that he's offering the child an apple. Which
it's weird how I know his alter ego, but not his. I was gonna say he's the Slicker or something, but
the Slicker.
I've just invented a new comic book character there. You'll probably see him pop up in Doomsday 12. So yeah, keep an eye out for the Slicker.
And Soups meets Black Adam, and this utopia, as you say, is introduced. We meet a sand guy who's actually a child, and again, it's just not the most inventive shit I've ever seen. It's not kind of this is really carte blanche, really. Just throw some superheroes into this place, show us where they exist in paradise. We learn about all the refugees that have sought ideas here. Firestorm is this thorn in Black Adam's side now. Everyone wants to know who this guy is, and it's kind of like, come on, Black Adam, you can probably find him if you just fly around the world a bit. Superman finds him very easily. He was
on the TV a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
Live.
It couldn't be that. And we said before as well, the Superman that I like is All-Star Superman. You know, the kind of wide-eyed, naive, but been to a million planets sort of character. And I don't know, this one, the whole careful Adam, I didn't get my workout in today. It just falls a little flat.
Yeah, it doesn't work, does it?
No.
Just feels like a dickhead.
Yeah. And you know,
like he's looking for a fight.
Yeah, we established the differences between these guys, and again, it is drawn across these Civil War lines, but in no way as captivating. And you know, of course, Gary Frank is doing great stuff as well. I think the sand looks wonderful.
Oh yeah, definitely, you know, really good eyes.
Again, we you know, we'll always praise this guy. And then Lois, it's so annoying to me how boringly information is imparted to these characters. They're always watching a TV screen, or in this case, it's like, you know, Dawn of Justice, when he has the fucking clicks on the little, you know, real-time player things, and you know,
fucking hell.
She has this little USB, and then she goes back and watches a bit about Justice Society of America.
She sits and watches all of the YouTube videos,
one
by one.
Oh my god, it's really like.
And she doesn't even subscribe at the end, Tom. No. You know what I mean? That's what's most annoying.
And it's like the thing that Moore would always say about Watchmen, why it couldn't be filmed, is because they did so much in there that just wouldn't work well. This, however, someone literally watching video, that's what they've drawn here. It's like, come on, guys.
Really bad. And you know what's even worse about this whole Utopia thing, Tom? I read Avengers vs. X-Men the other week. I'd heard good things about it, I'd heard bad things about it. It was really good. And in that, the X-Men, they build their own utopia away from the rest of the world, and then the Avengers, basically a big thing happens, and the Avengers get pissed off about it, and it's great. There's a brilliant use of the utopia in that. This one just completely pales in comparison to it, and I was so annoyed by it. Definitely read Avengers vs. X-Men, guys, if you haven't. If you're like me and you heard it wasn't that good, it's really, really good. You need to read everything, but it's really good.
Superman finds Firestorm very quickly, which kind of undermines the whole interaction with Black Adam. Oh, you better find this guy. Oh, there he is. It's one page later. We come across him. He is, you know...
How good would that have been if he couldn't find him and Black Adam and there was like more and more like attacks from Firestorm happening?
Yeah.
Superman was getting the blame for them, and then Black Adam had to fight him, and that would have been so much better. But it's not. Shit.
No, and he's stolen a child as well. But it would have been easy to. It would have been easy pickings. As we say, they're not. You know, they weren't cordoned off in any way. He is racked with guilt, understandably. These dual personalities are warring inside him. He's trying to work out what to do. There's quite a nice shot, actually. I say shot panel on page 15 in the middle of Superman, and his face is sort of half filled.
Yeah.
I like that. I think again from Frank.
Yeah, his eyes off to the side.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. We get a bit of insight into his powers as well, and him changing it back, and it's just. Again, this isn't what we fucking wanted. Like, you know.
Yeah, what is it?
What is it? Yeah. I don't know.
But basically, if people didn't know reading this and got a bit confused, Firestorm's two people fused together as one, but you wouldn't have any idea of that if this was your first comic book. It's just not accessible for those who aren't fully up to speed, and those who are up to speed, you probably don't care, to be honest, because you've seen this a million times.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, the language, God, please let this work. It's just, I don't know, I don't like this at all. He impales the boy with fire. I guess we can sort of see, what is it, like an isotope, an atom sort of coming through his flame in the middle of page 16. The boy returns, you know, so he's back. And why does Superman know this kid's name? Does he just know every kid's name, or...?
I really don't know. Maybe he looked at his wallet to see if he had any money or anything.
He literally says privet, like he knows it, and then he hugs him and knows his phone. Again, that's not really explained. And again, there's no forethought here from Superman. Like, of course, if you come back with the guy that turned them all into glass, they're gonna be hostile. Like, maybe go in first and explain and be like, okay, no, trust me. He's the kid, and the kid goes to his parents. Okay, if they got one back, we got more. It's just there's no real forethought here.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I really don't know why they had to do this in the middle of a press conference with Vladimir Putin. And, you know, just why not wait till it's nightfall, just sneak in, and turn the people back to normal. Like, why do it at this point?
Yeah.
It's just, it's ridiculous. It's like when Batman dropped Rorschach off in Arkham, even though he knew who he was, and he just thought, you know what, I'll do it now. He waits till Vladimir Putin's in front of loads of TV cameras and drops down and looks hostile. Obviously, they're going to be hostile. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, this is ground fucking zero. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in the world. So it doesn't. Again,
it's the equivalent of Bin Laden showing up to ground zero to like prove that he's innocent, and it was George Bush who did it.
Yeah.
During a press conference with George Bush.
Yeah.
At ground zero.
I hate that Vladimir Putin's in this. I really do.
Yeah. It's terrible, isn't it?
Like Watchmen did do that, though, to be fair. Watchmen did have
but you know what? I thought it was handled really well in that.
Yeah.
And as soon as he popped up here, I was just like, oh no. I thought it felt like a comedy piece.
Yeah, well, Watchmen had the president as Nixon during Reagan's presidency, but this one, there's no, you know what I mean? There's no twist. It's just the real world exists as it does, and that's not very exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty shit. I don't know why he's wearing like a Parker coat.
No,
he just looks like he's walking to the shop.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to imagine his Ruski accent sort of going through here with it. Again, we get to see the heroes behind him as well. This little press conference, the Kremlin, and again the art's nice. Superman arrives.
Why is he having a press conference in front of the Kremlin?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. Yeah.
Is this the only location in Russia that Johns knows about?
Yeah. I mean, you'd think they had some sort of headquarters or something like that, or even just some sort of diplomatic building that they have. But he declares that they're at war, and as if on cue, Superman arrives and tries to sort of bargain. What he did was an accident. I'm here if you can trust me, and we get to see the people in the guys again. Don't know why they didn't get partitioned off at least a little bit. I don't get that. And I mean, Bats is in it though at the end. We get the Batwing above.
Yeah, sort of. Just to go back, do you feel like with Vladimir Putin that Johns is sort of scared to take the mick out of him? He has although your tone is understandable, Posar, remember Superman speaks not for America but for all people on this planet. Mm-hmm. It's you're clearly scared to say that this guy's a bad guy.
Yeah, this guy's a psychopathic murderer.
He's a completely irrational world leader.
I know what you mean. Yeah. It is very sycophantic, actually. Yeah, and I mean, he had sort of again. He didn't really even attack Trump, did he? He put Robert Redford in the presidency and mentioned that he was golfing a bit. But they kind of had a nice platform here for him to do something with it. But that doesn't happen. Batman's above and. Batman just tell him just because eventually he reveals that it's not him, blah blah blah, it's a bomb or something like that. And weird thing, I don't know why this is. You notice at the bottom of page 20, Lois has a Liverpool FC cup.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah.
Does she have any Scouse heritage or?
Nope.
No, I didn't think so either. So. Yeah, I mean, again, just a little nod to the football team from Johns there. I'm not really sure why. Again, Superman, in terms of rhetoric, is maybe not the most convincing, though he is a kind of, vanguard and people will listen to him. But it's just, I don't know your entrance. Like, I know that it's not him, so it kind of makes sense that maybe he wasn't thinking on that straight, but it's just, it just sort of lets me down, really. And, when you're reading something, you really want to be kept up in it and page-turning and not aware where you were. But for me, I was looking at the side of the screen and how far the bar was down, and I was like, okay, I'm not too far.
Yeah, it's really... And, Batman as well, what's happened with Batman? I can't even really remember where he last was. He was at the Dr. Manhattan meeting, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was...
And now he's just back on his feet, flying about.
That's right.
No mention of it.
No, and he was, captured by Joker.
Again. It's issue 8, we're starting again.
Yeah, because it's because there were so many cool ideas here, like alternative Rorschach breaking into the Batcave and stuff like that, but they're just...
Yeah.
And like we said before, the whole Arkham idea of him being locked up as well doesn't make any sense. So I gotta say, I did sort of wince when the bullets went through the glass. I think that's kind of effective, but it is just stupid, as we said. They shouldn't be there. But yeah, that goes down. These super characters that we don't really know. attacks Superman, and Privet's there as well. I don't know why Superman didn't.
Privet.
Why didn't Superman just give Privet to his mom? I guess he's protecting him from his mom or something like that. And then just as Ozzy orchestrated, just as he wanted it, kind of hell breaks loose.
Yeah, and I don't know how he would have planned this much.
No,
I really don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense, to be honest. He's manipulated Superman into starting a war with Russia, but how? Like, how has he done it?
Yeah, it's like, but so it's like
he was reading that newspaper at the start, them files at the start, but I don't get it, Tom. I don't know how he's done it.
What did they tell him? And
it just seems like a coincidence.
It seems like a massive coincidence. He's not like Dr. Manhattan. He doesn't have this omniscience where he knows what's going on at all times. How could he have known that Superman would have met Firestorm? If that was even Firestorm, maybe that was the Stooge himself. I don't know. But it's like, even if you give me a tangible reason this all happens, I don't really care. It's just not very satisfying in of itself. It's not a very compelling plot. Everyone, of course, is watching this from all over the world. Lois is confused. She later drops the LFC mug. But I don't... So it is Firestorm, but it isn't Firestorm, because it clearly is him because he's upset about the things. But then Batman's saying it's not?
It's not Firestorm. That's what he shouts, isn't it? It's not Firestorm. Why didn't he say that at the start?
Yeah, exactly.
Why has he left it till all hell's broke loose? When he could have just been like flying about before and go, "Yo, Superman, it's your boy. Just want to let you know, it's not Firestorm. It's you need to take him and get out of there before all hell breaks loose." But instead, he tells him to shut up, and then tells him it's not Firestorm right at the end, and then a bomb goes off.
Yeah, I mean, maybe to defend Johns, which we're not really one to do. Maybe Batman didn't know. Maybe it was the energy reading spiking that alerted him to it not being Firestorm. Maybe. Okay. And again, Firestorm, has like a few people inside his brain, or two people, so maybe Ozzy put someone else in there. But yeah, it's a giant blue explosion. We don't know exactly what sort of immolation it caused. Is it squid level? It's not clear. Although the fact that all the satellites, I mean, again, that doesn't really say too much, to be honest with you. The mug gets dropped as well. And lame writing from Johns, the villain just looking and saying, "It begins." Yeah.
Which annoyed me, because we're going into issue 9 next.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be beginning. It should be ending, Tom.
Yeah.
Not that it begins. Please no more, Johns. Please, not another year of this. Which I think it's going to be about half a year, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's 8 months. 8 more months of this.
It's crazy how Moore managed to write Watchmen to the deadline, whereas this is just... It's not good, Tom. I know we've said it a lot, and I know it sounds like we're constantly going over the same points over and over again, but it's not very good.
It's not very good at all.
Just feels like it should be in issue 1, not in issue 8.
Yeah, I think a bit of retooling. This could be quite a good issue 1.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it sets up a lot of cool plot lines, but yeah, as you say, we're 75, 80% into the whole thing. Doesn't make any sense. We get some sort of back panel stuff here. So clearly the world wasn't
just newspaper headlines. It's
quite lazy. Yeah, I mean, clearly the world wasn't destroyed then, or there wasn't too much impact, because there's lots of stuff going on here about Superman being missing at this point and blah blah blah, and it's all very by the way storytelling, and it's all very on the nose in my eyes. But I mean, still, Def, people out there, they really enjoy Doomsday Clock, and
they're loving it. I actually haven't read any reviews for this one. Should we get some?
Yeah, I've actually got Comic Book Roundup up at the moment. So the average critic rating is 8.7. Okay, so there are
Geoff Johns must have loads of fake accounts.
There are 7 10 out of 10 reviews.
Wow, that good.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, is it?
Tevin Murphy saying, might just be some of John's and Frank's greatest work yet. The issue delivers a really interesting story and conflict and draws you in as ready and makes you want to keep reading. It ends on a huge cliffhanger that I'm ecstatic to see the outcome of. Ecstatic? Like, come on, man. Cameron Tevis saying, That being said, it's an excellent series. The introductions are done with. I can only imagine how intense the next 4 issues are going to be.
I can, Tom.
Yeah.
They're going to be not very tense.
Yeah.
They're going to be about as tense as waiting at the bus stop.
The lowest review is still quite high, 6.5 from Jay Yours on Batman News. This is a more muted affair. There are some great scenes at the Daily Planet. No, there aren't. And John just gets Superman's stalwart optimism. No, he doesn't. Something just doesn't quite connect, though, making the product as a whole a bit let down. Don't take it to mean that this issue of Doomsday Clock is bad, though. Yes, it is. There's good writing. No, there isn't. Beautiful artwork. Yeah, there is. And a sense of hope, even in the mire. I mean... I don't have a sense of hope, like, you know. So is Putin dead?
I really don't know, Tom. Probably not.
No.
I can't see Johns making that kind of statement.
No, he'd probably be protected by one of the demon lady or something. But I mean, yeah. As always, guys, let us know down below. We seem to be the
IGN,
only...
Tom. Right. I'll read you their review,
okay,
and then you guess their score.
All right.
So Doomsday. This is just the summary paragraph. Doomsday Clock 8 is an engrossing read, and one that finally gives Superman a long overdue spotlight. He's just one of several DC favourites who shines in this new chapter. Unfortunately, not all is well as the series begins building towards its climax. Superman's story feels too disconnected from the rest of the book's main cast, and the general pace of the story is beginning to feel sluggish at times when it should be heating up. Now, off that, what would you say their score is, Tom? Quite negative, wasn't it, when you think about it? Quite negative,
yeah. I'd say, again, I'd 6-ish, is it, or
7.5?
7.5, yeah.
Which is that's the most middle of the road score you can give. That is when I review comic books. That's the score when I'm like, oh, it's all right. It's not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do agree with her statement there. It just feels completely disconnected. I don't really know what's going on, and I don't really care. So
no,
congrats, Johns. Another classic.
Yeah, I completely am apathetic towards this. I mean, for a sense of completion, let's finish this. And I think I said to you before, like, you know, when I know the series is selling really well, and I think that, you know, in the future when they do a hardback edition and just market it in Waterstones as the Doomsday sequel, blah blah blah, it'll probably be quite popular. You know, I can definitely see.
I'll buy it.
Yeah,
probably it might be better in one read. It's just the fact that it's 2 to 3 months every issue, and nothing's really happening. And we've got 4 issues left, and I don't know where it can go from this. It's got to go from this to Superman fighting Dr. Manhattan on Mars in 4 issues.
And something that, I mean, you might appreciate.
And it took them 7 issues to meet Dr. Manhattan the first time.
Yeah. And their scenes need to be perfectly written, and I know they're not. And I know also that this isn't taking place in a bubble either. This has ramifications on the bigger Rebirth universe as well. So, you know, who knows?
Which has been a disaster, Tom.
Is that right?
I'm going to be completely honest. Well, you've probably noticed the last year, the last 28 years of my life, I was a very hardcore DC fan, Tom. Mm-hmm. And the last year or so, I've pretty much switched to Marvel on all fronts.
Wow.
Movies, TV, comic books, Tom. Rebirth has not been good.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, let us know down below in the comments what you thought of our review, our dissenting review. I think we're one of the only negative voices out there about Doomsday Clock.
We're the only ones who are right, Tom. It's them who are wrong.
It is a pile of shit. It isn't very good at all. But, you know, and get in touch with us as well. watchingthewatchmanpod@gmail.com. We do read out any emails that we receive. They are very warmly received. And I think we're saying that next time we do this Death for issue 9, we're going to try and do it live, right?
We'll try. We'll see what happens, but we'll try.
Yeah.
We've also dropped our Watchmen movie review and analysis on the channel. Just dropped today. It's on 91 views already.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. So make sure you go listen to that one. We're a lot more positive about that, I think. And it's a lot more of a fun episode than this one. And, you know, if you like all things Watchmen, you've come to the right place.
You have.
If you also like things movie trailers, you've come to the right place as well. because I've stupidly, in the last 12 hours, I've done 4 movie trailer breakdowns, and I did a Hellboy one, and then I did another Hellboy one, and I thought, Star Wars was meant to come out. I've got loads of footage lying around from me getting ready for it, so I thought I'll put that one out. And then I tell you what, Tom, they dropped the Men in Black trailer, and I was absolutely fuming about it. I was like, I've sat doing these. I wouldn't have bothered doing them if I'd known Men in Black was out.
Oh yeah, I need to check. I love how you do
really good trailer.
I love how you
Hellboy trailer, horrendous.
I love how you did a Mortal Engines ending explained. It's like, oh man. I mean, I read those as a kid.
Slow week sometimes, Tom. You know what I mean? You've got to get these ending explains where you can.
Smash Brothers Ultimate as well.
Smash Brothers, yeah, that's it. Bird Box, I did 2 videos on that because Netflix blocked the first one, so I had to re-edit it and put it back up. But you know, Tom, the channel, there's loads of stuff on. I've just had Abdeb Eno, he's checked out my Aquaman breakdown video, and he said, clickbait, fucking fuck.
Wow.
So I'm getting lots of positive responses on the videos.
And,
make sure they come out.
And obviously subscribe to us as well on iTunes, and you get the podcast there. Check out my shows as well, Battle Rap Resume and Alpha Metallica. If you're into Metallica, I'm going through their entire back catalogue, song by song. I'm going to be finished around June 2020, and I've been doing one a week for the past 18 months. So
they'll probably release a new album, Tom.
They probably will. They literally probably will. And I'm a bit of a pariah in the scene, actually, because I don't like their new album at all, and a lot of people get annoyed about it. But Hardwired isn't very good, people. But it's all good. It's all good. Me and Def will be back. I'm sure something soon, probably before we do Doomsday Clock 9. But any closing thoughts?
I'm sick of it. 8 is my favourite number, Tom. I was born on the 8th of the 8th, 1988.
Right.
My first house that I lived in, the number was 8. My grandmother's house, it's number 8. This is the worst thing I've come across with the number 8 in it in my whole life, Tom. Horrendous.
What was issue 8 of Watchmen? Oh, it was the Prison Break one. Okay, that's a pretty
wow.
Cool. Yeah.
So you went from one of the best to one of the worst.
Yeah. Well,
but we scored it an 8 out of 10.
Oh yeah, it's the one with the Hollis Mason statue on the cover, the Ingratitude.
Classic.
Oh man, so good. But yeah, this has been Tom and Def watching the Watchmen.
It's a good night from me.
It's a good night from Kwei. Oh, and Merry Christmas, everyone, as well. It's Christmas in a few days.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. This might come out after Christmas.
Oh, well, in that case.
Have a good New Year.
Dr. Manhattan experiences all holidays at once, so it's
exactly.
All good. It's all good, you know.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere when you're Dr. Manhattan.
But, yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheer up.